Hey guys, welcome back to I'm an Actor, Not a Therapist. I'm Sammy. So, what's going on? So, first, good morning from my little podcasting recording booth in my home. I'm sitting here drinking a coffee because it is early Sunday morning. Um, but I I had a moment over this weekend. Um, so it's been almost a year since I um broke relationships with a lot of long-standing, what I thought were friends. I stopped talking to this particular group of people back in February of this year. Um, so it's going to be a year in February, but it's been a very long year. Um, and there are times that um I look around and I go, I love my friends that I have now. I do. And I would not trade the circle of people around me right now for anything on this planet. Um, but they all live so far away. And I love them all. And I wish that they lived closer so we could hang out physically. Um, but the people that are no longer in my life that I asked to leave my life were all local to me. And we could physically get together on like a Friday night or whatever like that. And, you know, 8 years is a long time. It's a very long time. Um, and with social media and things like that being what it is, I really, really try not to see what they're up to and what they're doing. Um, but over the weekend, my best friend and I were talking, and she brought up one of them. We were just having a basic conversation. She brought one of them up. Um, and so I looked at my ex-friend's profile. And I looked because they had posted something on social media on one of the platforms. I won't say which one. They had posted something on one of the social media platforms that reminded me why I separated myself from this person and from this group of people. Between what they posted and the comments that followed, my mind went back to a completely different place than it's in right now. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that my brain went back to that place. I didn't like seeing that person's name. I didn't like reading what they had to say. Um, it just reminded me of everything that I walked away from. And it reminded me why I walked away from it. We have these relationships, we have these long-standing relationships, on top of breaking my relationship with them. There were two people that I was in a friendship with that I was also in a professional relationship with, um, because I was working with them for a long time. I was working with them. Um, and, a couple months ago, I broke it off with them too. I have not looked at their profile since that happened, and I had known them longer. Um, but the person's profile that I looked at and seeing all of the names that are no longer in my life by my choosing, I chose to not have them in my life anymore. I didn't like the way they made me feel. I didn't like the feeling that I got when I was with them. The relationship that we once had changed very much so over the years, more in their favor than mine. And I'll never forget it. When I first decided that I wanted to do this, I was talking to a friend and I said to them, this is the issue. And I looked at them and I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm tired. I'm mentally exhausted. I'm emotionally drained. I can't do this anymore. And they looked me in the eye and they said, then you need to do what's best for you. They're like, but I wanted to make sure you weren't just self-isolating. I said, no, I'm not self-isolating. I said, I'm not. I said, I am removing myself from a situation that is no longer something I want to be part of because I no longer feel like they're actual friends because of XYZ. And I removed 6, 7 people out of my life in a day. And when I say removed, I mean I blocked them on everything, including their phone numbers. These people have no way to get in touch with me. That's how deep the hurt ran when I decided I no longer wanted these people in my life. But then over the weekend, because my best friend and I were talking about one of these individuals, I went on social media using her phone because I blocked everybody on mine. I went on her phone. She let me. This was with consent. I went on her phone and I pulled up the social media platform that she was talking about. And I saw I saw what this person posted, and I saw all the comments that came after. And when I tell you, I was so reminded about why I did what I did. And both being proud of myself for being able to do what I did, and this kind of, I don't want to say an empty feeling, because it was not empty by any stretch of the imagination. It wasn't empty. It was just one of these feelings of, wow, these people were once in my life and I didn't see what they were like. And now that I'm so removed from it and I look at the comments and I saw the post, it reminded me why I had to break away when I did. Yay, coffee. And I stand by my decision to do what I did. And I encourage everybody out there that if you are in a friendship or a relationship that is no longer making you happy, then re-examine it. We've talked about this on this podcast before. And I'm very grateful to this podcast and to you guys for listening, because I know that I've talked about this before. And it's because I'm working it out while I'm advising you all. I'm working this out for myself as well. This is the first time in my life that I've been the one to walk away from somebody. Usually it's other people walking away from me. It's the first time I've walked away from somebody. And I walked away from a whole lot of people in 1 year. And it's kind of getting to the point at this point where the dust has settled. It's been almost a year since I talked to one group of individuals. It's been about 3 months since I talked to the other group of individuals. And now I sit here sometimes and I go, damn, those people really aren't in my life anymore. I'm really not going to get a call again to say, hey, come work with us in the city. I'm never going to have to plan another birthday party for somebody that I know is just expecting it. I'm never going to have to drop what I'm doing to answer a frantic phone call that when I get there, because again, that's how I am. If a friend calls me and says, hey, I need your help now, I will drop what I am doing. I will leave my location and I will get to that person as fast and as safely as I can. And I know that the people in my life right now, if they have to SOS me like that, they mean it. You know, they absolutely mean it. But with the previous group of friends, you know, they had SOS me a couple times. I would get there and they'd go, "Oh, it's okay now. It's fine now." And I go, "But you you could have told me that, that maybe this wasn't as big of an emergency as you made it sound." You know, I no longer have to use my car as almost like an Uber to bring people to and from places. Um, because that was something else that I was doing for another former friend. Um, so it just was very eye-opening for me this weekend. And I think it was so because um, one of these individuals actually has a birthday coming up. And if this were last year, I would be actively planning a birthday party for them. I would actively be trying to, you know, get a group of people together. And I would be dreading the text message from this person saying, "Well, who all is coming?" Because it got to the point where the group that I was in, while we started like a family, we completely fell apart in a night. And it just took a very long time for us to see that. Um, so I don't have to do it this year. I don't have to plan anything. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to plan anything. I don't have to open my home to people that I know won't appreciate it. I don't have to share information with people that I know will just hold on to it for future conversations that will go, future conversations that won't be good conversations. It's been a very eye-opening experience going from the group of friends that I had to the group of friends that I have. You know, like perfect example, and I want to apologize for doing another episode about this. I really, really do, but I know that this is a thing that people go through. And I know that this is not, when you cut somebody out of your life, it's because you've tried in the past to fix something and it just can't be fixed. Or, you've done everything that you can in order to save the relationship and there's just no saving it anymore. So I talk about this because I'm still going through it. Because I know there are others that, especially with holidays coming up, that their holidays are going to look a little different this year. Or their Christmas card list, decreases by a couple people because those people are no longer in their life because they were asked to leave or they were cut off from that person. And that's kind of what I'm going through right now. Because I don't think it really hit me, the events of this past year. Because look, a lot has happened this year besides, what's gone on with these former relationships that I had. A lot has gone on this year for me. Um, you know, when my friend and I were talking about it on Friday night, I looked at her and I said, "Oh my God, I don't have to plan a birthday party this year. I don't have to plan a surprise party. I don't have to deep clean the house so that people can come over. I don't have to worry about getting that text, 'Hey, who else is coming?' Like, I don't have to do that this year." And it was both incredibly liberating and part of it was a little sad. Because, like I said, 8 years is a long time. It's a long time to have a friendship. In fact, I read once online, which take the information for what it is, but it was some psychology thing that said that if you have a friendship or if you have a relationship, they were specifically talking about friendships, but if you have a friendship that lasts over 7 years, you are more likely to have that person in your life for the rest of your life. So that kind of became the joke when my former friends and I all got to like the 8 year mark. We're like, oh well, now we're all stuck with each other, huh? And 8 years. That was my cutoff. 8 years. I was done. I couldn't do it anymore. Because even though it started good, the last 2 years were not good. They were good for them because I would drop what I was doing. I would buy them food. I would drive them places. I opened my home to them because of the group. I was the only one that had my own place. I was big enough to have that many people. And in fact, when I was house hunting, that was the first question I would ask myself. If I was going to have 13 people here, where am I going to put all these people? And so that's how I wound up with the house I have. So the fact that the reason I'm even sharing that is because that's how deep this friendship went. And then it didn't, because I met an incredible group of people. And for full transparency, I am actually broadcasting on a TikTok live right now, and there are some of them in the room right now that are watching me and, smiling. But I met this group of people, and I love them, and I would not trade them for anything. And I hope they all know that they are officially stuck with me in the best way possible. But night and day experiences. But that does not mean I don't think about these people that I cut off, that I wasn't curious on Friday night when my best friend brought up someone's name and then I had to go look at what they posted. It doesn't mean that I don't think about the experiences that I had while working in the city with the guys that I was working with. It doesn't mean that I won't remember the backstage talks that I had with my other friends. It doesn't mean that I'll forget the last time we were all together as a group. You can't. The brain is a powerful thing, and as much as you want to forget some of these things, you just can't. But it's kind of up to us to determine what lens we look at them through. Because you can be as angry as you want at people. You can. Nobody's going to take away your anger from you. You can be as angry as you want at people. But it's up to you how that anger manifests. And it's up to you how you move on from that anger. For me, I love my friends now harder. I tell them that I love them. I tell them all the time that it annoys the ever-living everything out of me that they're all so darn far away. I buy the plane tickets. I go see them. I've got into a point where I want, sorry, and I know that I'm kind of waffling, but we love a good waffle, and I'm trying to get this thought correct. When I say I've gotten to the point where I want to get on a plane and go see people. I want my adventures, and those adventures include going to see people that I love, that I know when I get there, giant smiles, giant hugs, everything. I'm actually taking my first trip to Europe next year, and when I told a friend of mine that I was probably going to be that I had a friend that was coming with me for about a week and that I was going to probably be by myself, they literally said to me, no, you're not going to be by yourself, because no, we're not going to let that happen, because I have friends that are over there that refuse to let me wander by myself. And I love that about them. And I wouldn't trade this group of people for anything. I wouldn't trade my best friend for anything. And as much as I know people can come in and out of our lives, you know, the people that I have in my life right now, I kind of don't want to let go of. Because from a stood back perspective, I was able to look at the life I had with relationships that I had, and then look at the relationships that I have now and say, no, I want what I have now. I don't want to go back to what I had, because what I had was not making me happy. What I have makes me happy. But that doesn't mean that I don't think about what happened in the past. It doesn't mean that I didn't backslide over the weekend and get morbidly curious about what some people had been up to since they were no longer in my life. And social media is great for that. And social media is terrible for that. I did an entire episode about the good and bad sides of social media. I stand by what I said. It just took a new form in a moment of, gee, I wonder, and reaching back into the past and looking at a current post and reading everything and going, oh my gosh, I'm really not part of that anymore. And I'm okay with that. I am. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. And I think I don't need to see another post from somebody from my past, because that's where they belong, because I wasn't growing with them. I'm growing with the people in my life now. I'm supported by the people in my life now. And that's what I want. That's what I want. And I think that that's what we all look for in people in our lives. So yeah, just wanted to talk about it. That's what's going on. Guys, if you liked the episode, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Find us on Insta, find me on TikTok. And until next time, I hope that you guys have a great week. And you guys are all amazing. And thank you so, so much for allowing me to waffle at you every single week. And I promise I will be back next week. You all are amazing. And I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous week. Bye.